Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Ellen and I love to talk about books. If you like to hear people talk about books, I would strongly recommend that you would subscribe to my channel because that's mostly what I do. In this video I'm going to be doing the end of the year book tag. I saw this video on Destiny's channel and I'm going to link her video in the description because I will be using her questions. Let's just start. The first question is the most disappointing book of the year. And I'm sorry you guys, but I picked Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Disclaimer, I love every single book that Lucy Score has written, except for this one. It gave me the worst possible ick there ever is to exist. First, there's this thing where the MC is over 40, but behaves like an immature 13-year-old boy. And it was kind of annoying, so... And the second thing is the scene that was described in detail, how he took out his dog and peed next to him. And I was like, no, I can't get past that, I'm sorry. Why would you make me see that in my head? Like, that's disgusting. But I love the second book and I love the third book, but this book was just not my taste. The second question is, what was an underdog book? And I have chosen Out on a Limb by Hannah Bowman Young. I had no expectations going into this book whatsoever, and I loved it. This book contains the pregnancy trope, which I don't usually love, but it was so cute in this book and I was vibing. It's about Winnie and Bo. And Winnie gets pregnant after a one-night stand on Halloween. And when he finds out that she's pregnant, it's the cutest thing ever. He follows her to every appointment, like he should, but he takes pictures of everything and like document the whole thing. I just died on the spot. Like, that's so sweet and precious. When I read that scene, I threw my book across the room because I was so fucking happy. The third question is, what was an overhyped book you read? I don't know if we read the same book. Because why do you love this? I can see from some point of view how you would love this book, but I didn't. I can describe this book with one thing and one thing only. Boring. It's about two authors, and she moves to this small town and meets another author. They were supposed to be enemies. And when I tell you that after 5 pages, they weren't anymore. It's like, that's annoyance. Not enemies, but okay. And then both of them were in this writing slump. And we're like, oh, let's just switch this shit up. We should switch genres. Duh. There's going to be so many people that would love that. So no, I didn't love the plot at all. This is the only Emily Henry book I've read. And if you feel like you want me to give another Emily Henry book a try, just comment the book and I will read it. I will buy it and then I will read it and I will give an honest review of my opinions. Next we have a book that surprised you, and I have chosen a series, and I think that a lot of you guys know which series I'm talking about because the book I'm holding is A Court of Mist and Fury and it's part of the Boktok series. My beloved is here. Like, I love that series. It was so precious to me. I tried to read A Court of Thorns and Roses, the first book, and then I gave up and everyone was like, just push through, you will love it, just do it. And I did, and I was like, I'm just going to read, get into it and I will love it. And I did, and I was in the car and I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Like, super loud, and my dad was driving and he was like, what's wrong with you? You're reading literal words on paper. What has you, or who has you gasping like that? And I was like, this dude Tamlin. And then I came to this book, my absolute favorite in the entire series. Tampon can go elsewhere, please. Your favorite book couples of the year? Okay, so I picked two. First, I've picked a couple in Lucky Hit by Hannah Cohen. It's Oakley and Ava, and I love them. They have such a sweet and cute and precious relationship. Like, Ava got cheated on by her boyfriend. Plays hockey. So she's like, no, I'm done with these fucking hockey boys. I'm never going there again. And then the same night she meets Oakley. And Oakley is this shy, sweet boy. And they talk and talk and talk for hours. Then he was like, I'm going to leave. I'm moving away from here. This is my last night here, so you won't see me again. And she's like, oh, okay. Fast forward a few weeks. First day of college. What do you know? He's there too. They go to the same college. He also plays on the same hockey team as her ex, who cheated on her. And I love their relationship, and I feel like I have picked them because the second Gen series is out. And like, you got to see like glimpses of them being all cute and old. I love this entire universe. Holds a strong grip over my heart, you know? And we have... Oh, I was about to say her brother's name again. And we have Johnny and Shannon. The love of my lives. This is my favorite book that has ever been written. Like, it's amazing. I don't have words to describe this book, you guys. Like, the feelings I felt while I read this book the first time. Amazing. And I'm so excited for Taming 7, which comes out in April. I could die right now if it just came out that second. And it's like the teenage love story, her first love, and like his first love too, because he was supposed to be a playboy. If you have not read the series, and I mean the entire series, please do, because you will be fucking... You will be happy, and then you will be miserable, and then you will be happy, and then miserable, and then enter a mega big fucking reading slump. I didn't read books for months after finishing this, so. Your favorite main character of the year? And I picked one man, and one man only. Carter Beckett. From Consider Me. There's 3 books out. He's immaculate. Like, everything he says, iconic. And I cannot get enough of him. Like, I loved him for him. And he's hot, and he's fucking funny. And he will be closest to my heart of all the bookmen there is out there. New favorite author you discovered this year? It's Hannah Cohen. I love her with everything I got inside of me. She's the best. I love her writing style. I love the way I have connected with all of the characters she's written about. It's amazing, and I love that feeling. And this book, Her Greatest Mistake, also one of my favorites. It's the second gen series I talked about. It's Ava and Oakley's child. It's fucking signed. What is the happiest book you've read this year? Why can't I find the book? I just had it here. And it's Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I love this book. It's one of my favorite rom-coms. I usually don't like rom-coms that much. This is the only rom-com I have ever given a 5 stars rating to. It's amazing. I love the little quotes at the beginning of each chapter. And I love how this is kind of swift decoded. The only thing I know is that I will never be able to experience love in the way Liz and Wes did. The most frustrating book you've read this year. And I just told you I love this, and I do. But some scenes in this book, let me just tell you, I threw this book across the room. She has a tough life, and every time something good happens, this man comes and screws everything up, and by this man, I mean her dad. He's a fucking maniac, and I stand by it. What is the longest book you've read this year? I've read this book this year, and it's Kingdom of Ash. It was amazing, and it was an experience to read a book this thick, because I've never done that before. This book was amazing, and I thought that it was a good ending to the entire Throne of Glass series, so I'm glad I read this. What is the shortest book you've read this year? And it's Sabotage. I don't really have words. I liked it. I gave it 3.5 stars, so... Your favorite covers of the year? First we have Black Knight by Rena Kent. I love this cover. Also love the book. I love when a cover has these dark vibes. Like, I often usually like the dark romance books covers more than a rom-com romance book. I love the detail, like the green ice cream and everything. If you haven't read this book, you don't know what I'm talking about, but I love green. Again, dark vibes. Her Soul to Take. It's amazing, and this book was a masterpiece. I'm not going to tell you anything more about it, but if you want to read this or have a thing for demons, which I apparently do. I didn't know that before I read this book, but I do. Maybe I should call 911, I don't know. Cringiest read of the year. False Boy by Penelope Douglas. This book was good. Like, don't get me wrong, I gave it a 4 star. But some scenes in this book. You know when you just get so embarrassed by the character or the writing that you just close the book. I did exactly that. Like, every third sentence is like, oh, she had so much grease under her nails, or she hasn't showered for 3 days and she stinks and smells and she doesn't cut her toenails. Like, I don't want to read that. I know that she was supposed to be portrayed as this poor, troubled teenager. I get that. But one sentence could have been enough. Grease under her nails and she hadn't showered. Could have been done there. Unpopular book you loved. It's kind of popular, I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like this book has a lot of mixed opinion. Like almost every single review I've seen has been people talking shit about this book, and I loved it. I live for this book. I ate this shit up. It's Punk 57, also by Penelope Douglas. I just love how they were pen pals, and then they stopped talking and he found out who she was, like her identity, and he started at her school and was like, I know who you are, but you don't know who I am. And she was like, huh? And then he became her bully. And like, some people would call that weird, but I was just intrigued. So much stuff was going on at the same time, and I lived for it. Books with the most unique concept I've read this year. And I know this is not that unique, but for me it is, because it's the only one I read and I was traumatized. And it's Pucking Around by Emily Rath. This book is a why choose. Why I would read a romance book that's kind of a love triangle, but at the same time not, because they all get along and everything. But then she wouldn't choose one. Like, my brain is not functioning that way, and I can't change that. But I have started a reading vlog where I only read why choose, and it's kind of exciting because my reactions are something else. And then we have books you read this year that you would reread. It's Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I love these books. I read them in the beginning of my fantasy era. You know, I read like 3 fantasy books and I was like, in my fantasy era. But I love these books. Like, I'm just screwed when it comes to a man that's supposed to be bad, but does good things to her and for her. Like, I'm done. Like, I can't help it, but I will fall face first. Apparently, like my mom just did, because why did the whole house shake? Those were all of the books and all of the questions I was going to answer and show you guys. I hope you found this video interesting or fun to watch, but I don't know. Please like and subscribe, but if you don't, and if you do, I'll see you next time.